listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV Survivor After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV Survivor After Show.
Hey guys, Bing is for doing, and we're doing another episode of Survivor, Season 25, Episode 6, called Down and Dirty. I'm your host, Justin Walter. AJ and Ryan are unfortunately not here today, but we have myself and my lovely co-host...
Yay, me, Christina Chaw from Survivor One World.
So, Christina, we are very excited to do this podcast. We were just talking about earlier how you're a super fan, I'm a super fan. It's going to be a super fan-themed episode, right?
Absolutely.
Which is also great because later on we have Sarah Dawson from this season, who was voted off last week. She's going to be on the line with us to give us an inside scoop onto her experience as well as this entire season as a whole. So we're excited to have her, right?
I'm excited because there's a lot of questions that I have for her, and I'm sure you do too.
Definitely, definitely. So before we get Sarah on the line, let's jump right into the episode. First thing we get to see is kind of Katie actually talking and talking strategy and actually playing the game a little bit, which kind of surprised me. What'd you think of that?
You know, it's her strategizing, but then again, like, she still is a pathetic player. I feel so bad. Actually, I don't know if I feel bad for her, but yeah, she's actually coming up talking about ways to get rid of Penner, maybe taking Denise out. I don't know.
Well, it's always kind of a scary sign or kind of foreshadowing when you haven't seen a player an entire season and then all of a sudden they're the focus of the episode, which Katie clearly was the focus of the episode in terms of from the beginning to the end. It was almost the episode was narrated by Katie.
Right. And they do that typically on the productions. Whenever you see someone talking all the time, is usually the one who's going to be the boot.
Yeah. And what I found interesting too was Katie, we saw her in the beginning talking with Denise, you know, kind of sitting aside saying, hey, we could probably stick together because if we don't, you know, the girls are going to get picked off one by one. Denise, being the smart player she is, yeah. Oh, you think Penner? Yeah, let's go after Penner.
Yeah.
Which, did it happen?
No.
No.
Well,
no.
We'll see that later.
So it's kind of a slow build and lead into what became a historic reward challenge on Survivor, something that has never happened before in over 25 seasons. Christina, explained to all the fans, you know, let's just recap real quickly what happened in this reward challenge.
Well, basically, they take this big ball and they're in this mud pool. What is it? It's a mud
mud pit, which looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah. And it's very intimate. You know, you get Scoop and Penner right underneath each other. You have Malcolm, Pete versus together, and Lisa and Denise fighting. And they're supposed to move the ball, but the ball's not moving. Yeah,
the object was it was 3 guys and 3 girls from each team going in the mud pit with this huge ball that almost looked like a ball of yarn, but it was wicker, this huge wicker ball. And they had to move it into goals, the first to 3, I believe. And what we saw was a gridlock standstill from the beginning to the end. Mud wrestling, which was kind of cool. Kind of cool.
You know, I thought it was kind of boring.
The challenge was boring, but the actual mud wrestling is always fun to watch.
Right.
Yeah.
Trying to push him out and everything.
But one thing we need to talk about before we got to the challenge, this would have been the first challenge we would see Abby compete in for a very long time. RC and Artist chose to sit out for the Yellow Tribe, which meant that Abby Marie was going to have to compete. But did we actually get to see her compete?
No.
No. I was very disappointed because I'm waiting to see her compete in a challenge.
You know, here's a little gossip.
Uh-oh. We got news and gossip a little earlier.
Tore her ACL.
Okay.
And apparently she tore it from the first challenge.
Oh.
So that's why we always see her sitting out every time.
So her tribe knows that she kind of is injured.
No. She hasn't told anyone, and that's like part of her strategy.
Okay. So you
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
Wow. Okay. So Christina, tell our fans out there, how do you know? I know you're an insider in terms of knowing the fans. So this is something you found out that she.
Okay.
Give us the scoop. Here we go.
This isn't real news. So I hang out with Abby Maria.
Oh, okay.
Her and I are friends.
Okay.
We happen to.
So her opinion might be a little biased.
Probably.
That's okay. I'll give the other side of it. Keep going.
So I know she came back and had surgery and everything.
Wow. So she actually had surgery.
She had surgery. Yep.
Wow. So she kept it a secret from her tribe that she actually was injured, and that's why she kept sitting out.
Well, it's interesting too. Didn't we see Jeff Kent injured as well?
Yes, in the very beginning.
And he hasn't complained in one bit, and he's been participating in every challenge.
That's the difference between the two of them. Jeff is injured, but he's actually participating in the challenges.
Right, and he hasn't told anyone.
He hasn't told anybody either. So that's the similarity, and the difference is, Abby's just kind of being a wimp and sitting out. But she doesn't need to compete, which is the crazy thing. Her tribe is constantly winning.
Right.
So if she were on any other tribe where they kept losing, she'd probably be out of the game. So she's got some luck on her side.
Well, and then it's also a great part of strategy as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at other players like Sabrina, for instance, from my season. Sandra,
never
really haven't done anything at all. It's still potential to win.
And ultimately, it's the alliances that'll carry you to the end.
Absolutely.
And if you're thinking you're Pete, you're in this alliance with Abby, what do you have on her when you get to the final two? She didn't ever compete. She never played in a challenge. I did both. I strategized. I did compete. So it's kind of, I can see that angle too.
Yep.
It's interesting. So back to the challenge. We got everybody in over an hour. We see the time elapsed 1 hour, and they're just laying in the mud.
Just
doing
holding
nothing.
onto the ball.
It's some of the funniest scenes, though, whereas, like you said, we had Penner and Scoopin.
Penner underneath Scoopin, like in the most inappropriate way. Ryan and AJ would totally love that.
Who in terms of who was underneath in terms of the hand in between the legs and
I think it was Penner.
Penner in between Scoopin's legs.
Yeah, right underneath.
Which balls are you going for there, Penner? Hopefully the wicker one, right? But it was a standstill, and I actually did love seeing Lisa getting down and dirty in the mud.
Oh yeah, she
loved it. Yeah.
Fierce.
Well, we're very excited to have Sarah Dawson on the line with us. She competed in this season. She's a super fan. We have a lot of questions for her. So Sarah, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Feel free to call me Dawson.
I know. I was just gonna say.
Dawson.
I feel weird calling you Sarah. I know. So how's it been for you? You got voted off last week, unfortunately. So has it been just a whirlwind for you? How's it been for you post getting voted off the season?
It's really crazy. You would think that once you're voted off as Survivor, everything slows down and gets all quiet, but it actually speeds up.
Oh yeah.
So the second you get voted off, it's like time starts moving and you're standing in a wheel just running.
Yeah.
For weeks. So I'm still in that running phase where things haven't really slowed down yet, but yeah, I'm off the show and I'm sure things will slow down. But it's such a huge fan of the show. It's just been a really, really awesome ride so far, and I can't wait to see what happens
And
next.
you got a chance to kiss Jeff Probst. Was that were you just getting distracted because he snuffed your torch? Were you gonna say, "Hey, Jeff Kent, he's a millionaire"?
Right. Everyone keeps asking me that. It's so, I don't know, being such a fan of the show, I kind of appreciate where he's coming from. He wants to play a normal game like a normal person. Okay, if I didn't see myself getting out and he got me out, then yeah, maybe he's earned his right to play his own game. But I've also been watching his social game for the past 13 days. So I kind of sort of knew he wouldn't. I kind of guessed that with his social game, he wouldn't go that far. So if he's going to play and crash and burn, I didn't want it to be on my skin. He can play as a normal person if no one else recognizes him.
So here's a question for you.
And we'll see what happens.
Were you blindsided, first of all? It seemed like you were blindsided. Did you know it was coming, or were you blindsided? Or was it kind of a middle?
It's so difficult once you're out there and you're hallucinating and you really don't know what's happening. But of course, everyone has their survivor sense, like in the back of their head, that's saying, "What you watching?" You know.
So here's a question for you.
And you're not talking.
Yeah, in terms of if you had an inkling that you may have been going, did you think of approaching Jeff Kent and saying, "Hey, I know who you are, and if you want me to keep that a secret, then you got to work with me now and keep me safe this next vote"? Or did that ever cross your mind? Or was it kind of you knew you had this blackmail on him, but you just never used it?
It's actually, I was much more strategic than people have given me credit for.
Well, share with us now. Yeah.
Because what I had wasn't really leverage on him until I joined the jury. Because I can say, hey, if you put me on the jury, I'm telling the entire jury that you're a millionaire and, you know, you've made so much money and you're against gay marriage. I can tell them all this stuff.
So you seriously didn't think that you were going to get voted off. You were going to use that during the jury. You really didn't.
Right. I was saving that for jury time because I knew if he knew I knew who he was, he'd just vote me out free jury. That's what I would do if I were him.
Did you instantly knew who he was when you saw him? You instantly knew that's Jeff Kent. I know all this about him, and he's on my tribe.
Yes, I actually went through a list of his stats, what teams he's played for, that he gave money to Proposition 8, how much money, what year. Like I just have a head for stats like that.
Yeah.
And it was so amusing because I'm like, yeah, never trust a guy with a mustache and all this stuff. Of course, it didn't make the show, but yep, I definitely recognized him, knew who he was.
Yeah. One thing that, stuck out was, as Christina mentioned earlier, your exit. No one has ever seen in the 25 seasons of Survivor.
Has ever kissed
You gave Jeff this look, and everyone thought she is going to out Jeff Kent at this moment. And instead, you went in for the kill with Jeff Probst, maybe one of the funniest exits in Tribal Council history. What was going on in your head in terms of that move, and how was Jeff's reaction towards you?
Oh my gosh, it was so funny watching Jeff's face and knowing, and production, production's back there somewhere, and they're wondering what's happening because you got to keep Survivor moving, Yeah. And so right when he put out my torch and my hands were free, Survivor stopped moving. It was like dead for once, but there was so much energy between Jeff and I. And I think his end of the energy was like a little bit of fear / excitement. So of course I had to figure out which move I would make on him. And it turns out I went for the around the neck clutch and kiss on the cheek. I was aiming for like
the lips?
The little side of his lips. No, just the little side. Since he's married, I got to keep this above board.
Right.
Oh,
I don't think Lisa would appreciate that.
How funny. Classic moment. I have to thank you for that moment. Right. That was great. That was really great.
So what's going on with you, Dawson?
He was scared, but I think he liked it in the end.
Yeah.
So Dawson, what's going on with you? What are you up to now?
Now it seems like I'm on Survivor tour right now.
Yeah.
I also am now living between New York and D.C., and I'm still working with my jewelry design company.
Nice.
But there's just so much happening. It seems like in every single direction, everyone wants to talk. So I've been on the road a lot, as you can imagine. But working for myself makes it easy.
That's great, yeah. So in terms of the experience, a super fan, what are you taking away as, the top thing when you're looking at the experience as a whole, from wanting to always get on the show to finally getting on, playing the game? It didn't go necessarily the way you wanted it to, but what are you taking away from this experience?
I am so proud of the way I play this game. If Dana didn't decide to leave, then I would have gone very, very deep. I was playing such a good long-term game. Unfortunately, I got to have a plan B. I didn't set up a plan B alliance. But everything from the beginning of your Survivor experience to the end, which I haven't even experienced yet. It's just meant so much to me as a fan. I think being able to have my torch snuffed and then be followed by a hug and a kiss from Probst Man, that's got to be the top of the world.
Take that
Like
video.
when I'm walking out and it says, wow, you know, like I say, wow, I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about the man. So I'm definitely taking that one home for the team.
Yeah.
Super fans around the world.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
That's so great.
So, would you play the game again, of course? And how would you play it differently?
I want to play Survivor again so badly. so badly. I'm waiting on the show to get renewed. If you guys know anything, please give me
That would be
some inside
Christina.
info.
I'm just the super fan here along with you, Dawson.
I don't know. I don't know all the news just as much as
Here's
you.
one more game question.
yeah.
One more game question I have for you. From the beginning on your tribe, you guys were 100%. We need to get Jonathan Penner out of here. Let's stick with the newbies. Get this veteran out of here. And then all of a sudden, that seemed to just kind of change, and it went to the gender alliance when the idol was found. So what, in your mind, when you were there in the thick of it, in the environment, everything is changing, what happened from going from an alliance of newbies to not getting Penner out?
The energy changed so quickly. First of all, Jonathan Penner made side deals with each of us, and each time one of us was alone with him, he'd go and make a deal, and we'd shake on it and come back to the newbie group and say, "Okay, we're still good. We're still good." What happened that you guys don't see is I'm a little sneaky, so I actually I was wondering if he had the idol, so I started going through everyone's bag, and I found the idol in his bag.
Oh, wow.
How come you didn't
So
say anything
then I
about it? You knew about the idol. You knew about Jeff Kent.
Because I
Sarah.
was being loyal to my alliance. So what did I do? I go over to my alliance and I'm like, okay, guys, he's got the idol. We've got to blindside him and get rid of the idol.
So-
and what do the guys do? The guys are like, oh, he's got an idol. And they run over to him and make a deal.
Okay. See, we didn't get to see that
We
on the
didn't get
show.
to see that.
It's
And
interesting.
Katie
Yeah.
knew
Yeah.
Penner had the idol.
Wow. That's some good insight for us. Thank you, Dawson.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
really good.
Love
no
it, yeah.
problem. But I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I mean, get rid of the idol and get rid of the returning player all at once.
Yeah.
That'd
Yeah.
be a great game move. But
You would have been,
apparently, I'm a bigger threat.
you would
know
have been
why-
the puppet master over there.
I don't know why no one talked about fleshing out the idol then.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, I said Sarah. I can't believe I said Sarah. It's Dawson.
Dawson.
It's Dawson. Dawson, you
Killing
have
me.
such a good energy in watching you on the show. You brought such a,
Thank
positive
you.
energy, and even just hearing your voice. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. We'll definitely have you back and getting some of your Survivor insights. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dawson.
Thank you. And thank you guys for actually, one of you, I know you pulled my name second on your fantasy draft.
It was me. I did. It's Christina.
We don't.
Thank you.
I don't like bringing up the fantasy because I think my team has
Oh, no,
been
no,
demolished.
it was AJ. AJ did.
AJ.
Dang.
No,
Yeah, it
you
was
were
AJ.
you were picked up very
That's why I
quickly.
didn't want to blow you out of the water, but I knew it was
Dang, it was
Anthony.
AJ.
Yeah,
That
see,
was-
you were picked up very quickly. We couldn't get you.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you
us,
so
Dawson.
much. Hopefully, we'll talk again. And I love
Definitely.
your show. Oh, tweet me at Survivor Dawson. Can you
Very
guys throw
good,
that out
yeah.
there
That's
for
where they
me?
can find you.
So where can people find you, Dawson? Survivor
You
Dawson,
can find
right?
me on Twitter at Survivor Dawson. One word, no caps.
Great. Thank you so much,
be there.
Dawson.
Thanks, Dawson.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Bye.
Such a
Wow.
good energy. Love her.
So much energy.
And you know what? I love getting the insight that you don't get to see on the show.
yeah, that she went through all the bags and
Yeah.
found the idol. The thing is that kind of frustrated me a little bit.
Yeah.
Was like she knew about the idol. She knew about Jeff Kent. She had so much to play with.
Well, and here's the question.
And I
How-
get the
as a
whole
player in the game,
loyalty.
Christina, how
Yeah.
often do players sit on information that they want to use when they think they'll use it in the future, but then they don't get that opportunity and the opportunity is lost?
Oh, many times.
So many
Because,
times.
Yeah, you have so many things that are running through your mind.
Yeah.
I knew a lot. I made several alliances with other people. I made an alliance with the guys and I made an alliance with the girls.
Yeah.
And I always went back and forth. And I just didn't say anything because I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it happens a lot. In
It
the
happens
game.
a lot, right?
And it really depends on the edit that you get, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so much fun talking to her.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dawson, for calling in. And
Thank
one
you.
thing, too, we love doing this podcast. All you have to do is go to iTunes. You can download
Mm-hmm.
it. We would love for you to comment and rate on our show. We've been getting good feedback and some good constructive
We have.
criticism, which is always great to hear. We want to know know what we can do to make our show better. We love having guests on. Is there anything in addition to having guests? Rate us,
we like
tell
to
a
know
friend.
what kind of guests you guys would like to have next.
Who do you want us to get calling in, or if we can get them in the studio, who do you want us to bring in?
Do you guys want Katie?
Do you want Katie? We got to get Katie.
We're gonna get
on that, Christina.
I'm gonna get on that.
But also tell a friend, refer a friend. We love getting feedback. We love having people listen to our show, and we love coming in here and doing this. It's an awesome experience. I could talk about Survivor for many hours every day. I really do.
Survivor
I talk about it all the time.
Day.
Yeah. So really quick, back to that reward challenge, and we'll keep moving on.
Yeah.
One thing that happened that has never happened is, Jeff Probst kind of saw, the light at the end of the tunnel, that this challenge is probably not going to end. So there was a negotiation going on between Jonathan Penner and Mike Skupin, the returnees, kind of taking charge of their tribe.
Which was interesting because it looked like they were, not only were they making a deal.
Yeah.
To me,
think there's something up with those
there's
two?
There's something going on, too. I think they might have whispered about maybe having a secret alliance.
Well, they were there for an hour.
Maybe something.
It's a little risky doing it when in the mud right next to you is other players.
When you were getting that close together with the ball.
Right. Yeah, when you got your hands in between someone's legs in their crotch, you're getting pretty intimate, right?
Pretty intimate, yeah.
So the deal that was struck was that the Red Tribe Calabar would take the reward, take the sandwiches, go on this reward, and give all their remaining rice to
Tadang.
I can't always say these tribe names.
Tadang. You said
I always say yellow and red, so I'm going to keep with the colors.
What?
Calabao.
Calabao.
I think that's it.
Calabao and then Tadang.
Can't say the names.
I can say Tadang.
Yeah. So in any case, we already know from the previous in the episode, they're struggling for food, they're struggling for rice. And what happens is they make a deal where they're going to get rice from the Red Tribe, and it turns out it's not a lot of rice. And it was kind of a huge blow up. Because Mike Skupin, he proposed the idea. Everyone, quote unquote, agreed at the challenge to take it.
Except for artists.
And then once they get back to camp, boom, fireworks with Abby Marie, artists. A lot of back talking, a lot of scheming in terms of we shouldn't have done this. This was a stupid move, blah, 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 blah. And it was, that idea of let's let Mike lead and almost let him take the fall for this move.
Right.
So smart move, Christina, in terms of making first the trade and also turning it against him after they got back to camp. What do you make of it?
Well, you know what? I think it was kind of stupidity on both tribes.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at Calabao.
Yeah.
How do you say
Just say red and we're going to go with red and yellow.
Penner's tribe. I'm going to say Penner's tribe.
Sure.
Although they went in the reward and they were feeding themselves and getting themselves full, when they got back, no one could fish.
Yeah.
Penner comes
that
out
was
with a
kind of the embarrassing thing.
Yeah, Penner comes out with a little guppy.
He made the deal. I promise you guys, we give up our rice, I will catch you fish.
Right.
And he found
a guppy.
The smallest fish ever.
Flounder.
And he was like, "Oh, well, I'm not hungry. You guys. I'm an old man. I don't have to, be hungry."
Right.
So.
And then it looks like over at Tadang, Skupin's tribe, the rice, there was hardly anything over there, too.
One thing that stuck out to me in that situation, when I think back of it, is I really loved Malcolm's positive attitude. Abby Marie was being negative. Then you have Artist being really negative, just bringing the tribe down. You have RC just kind of blankly staring and not knowing what to do because she knows she's already in the outs. And then kind of everyone else being quiet. And, there's Malcolm being like, let's be positive. They don't have rice anymore. We doubled our supply.
Right.
And this is going to help us out in the long run. And I like that about Malcolm, and I just think it goes to show Malcolm is in a great position on that tribe. No one's looking out for him. He's bringing a good energy.
Well, this is the first time that he's actually in a tribe that's not losing, where he is like the lighthouse of a foggy day. Yeah.
So, in any case, moving on from the reward challenge, let's move on to the immunity challenge.
The immunity challenge.
What'd you think of it, Christina?
It's traditional Survivor.
Traditional.
We've
seen it a lot.
See it a lot. I still like it. You happen to think it was boring.
Yeah, it's, explain the challenge.
Well, basically, two teams separate. They slingshot a ball. The ball goes out, and they have a little net. It doesn't matter what ball that they catch. As long as you catch it, the team makes a point. Yeah. And in the beginning, we see Tadang winning. Yeah. No, actually, it was the red team, Penner. Calabao was on the lead because Jeff Kent was catching most of the balls, of course, former Giants.
Former Giants member.
He's going to be good at catching balls. They got too many balls jokes here.
He should have been in that the wicker ball challenge, right?
Wicker ball challenge.
But no, I didn't necessarily think it was boring. It's just we have seen it a lot on Survivor. It's a classic Survivor game. I'm not opposed to classic challenges.
Well, a lot of the challenges that we've seen throughout the Philippines have been a lot of repeats. They're old, traditional, like water
revamp of challenges. Yeah. So in any case, we had this battle, and it really was Malcolm versus Jeff Kent in a way. in terms of winning that challenge.
Yeah.
Malcolm caught, I think, 3 out of 5. And Jeff Kent, he caught most of them.
Maybe 4.
So it really, I was rooting for Calabao. I just want to see Tadang go to tribal council. There is so much dissension.
So much
There's
drama.
so many dividing lines and divisions on that tribe.
Yes.
I want to see them finally vote.
Who do you want
They
to
haven't
go?
voted one person off the game yet.
But who do you want to go on today?
I don't know. I think I would like... She's your friend, Abby Marie.
I think Ryan
Sorry.
agreed too.
I mean, I want to see that tribe go to tribal council. How many tribal councils? We've seen 6 tribal councils now. I just did the math in my head that fast. 6 tribal councils. It's episode 6. We've seen 6 tribal councils.
Well, there
really
you go.
strong math.
So glad you're...
but they haven't gone once. They haven't gone to tribal council once. And there's so many ways it could go when they finally are going to be put in that position, and we haven't seen it yet. I would love to see them. I was rooting for the Red Tribe. Give Denise a break from tribal council.
I know.
You know?
She's been such a great sport in the whole entire game.
Yeah.
She's been participating. She's doing awesome in all of it. And she's strategizing too. I mean, she understands the game fully.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Carter. What is going on with him? Why do we have him narrating what's going on? Because it's putting me to sleep.
So you find Carter boring.
Well, he's like, this is what's happening. We got the ball and then had the reward town.
He seems like a nice guy.
He seems like a really
One
nice
thing
guy.
is just interesting as, you know, watching the show, we haven't seen a lot of him, clearly. And he does seem a little boring. He seems boring. I wonder what, when you know, you're looking at him, what stood out to him to get him on the show? Maybe he has more of a personality.
His faux hawk.
His faux hawk. His look.
Faux hawk.
Maybe he has more of a personality when he has food in his belly. But he was kind of being, not, I wouldn't say a diva or anything tonight, but he was being not even somewhat of a baby in terms of he's really hungry. He was the one who was complaining most about not having food and kind of just being a downer. And he's playing the perfect pawn game. He's playing the game where he is going to do whatever anybody says. You know, he's gone up to Jeff Kent. You want to get Penner out this episode? I'll vote Penner off. You want to get off Katie? I'll do whatever you want. He's playing that game where he's flying under the radar, which how many people win by flying under the radar?
So many.
And he's kind of just saying, I'll do whatever you want to do.
Right.
You know?
And it's a safe card. It's a smart card. Well, like, if you know how to... But I don't think he'll... If it came to the... point to the final 3, what would his speech be?
Well, so he would have to make a move. He would have to make a move before that.
But I'm just saying, like, yeah, you can skate your way all the way through, but I don't think he would understand the concept of that.
Yeah, so we'll see. But so the immunity challenge, you know, going back to it, Malcolm basically won that challenge for Tadang. Do you think that the tribe is looking at Malcolm as, you know, this guy's a huge advantage to us? He's great. We love him. Everybody loves him. He's amazing. Or do you start saying, this guy's a huge threat?
No, they don't see it. They see Scoopin as a threat. Scoopin is getting on everyone's nerve.
Yeah, it's surprising to me.
But it's surprising as well because Malcolm's obviously the outsider. He came from another tribe. He inherited into it. Yeah. But he's playing like I'm likable. He hasn't even told anyone about his hidden immunity.
We're seeing a setup for Scoopin that most of the tribe is, you know, kind of collectively saying he's useless. He's eating all of our food. He's a hazard to this tribe. He needs to go. So we'll see if that actually happens. The only person on the tribe that seems to be that we're seeing reaching out to him is RC, kind of going to him after the deal with the rice and saying, everybody was for it. It's not your fault. She's really on his side. And I kind of think that, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Lisa Walshall. I'm starting to think that she's probably got a secret deal with him too. I hope, you know, I like them
I
together.
don't know where Lisa falls into that alliance. I have no idea.
I just hope she's more strategic than we're seeing.
Yeah, well, am I going ahead in the next clip? It looks like she's making a deal with her Malcolm.
Yeah, we can talk about that later when we get towards the end.
We're getting ahead of ourselves here.
We're jumping all around, but it's okay. We're, you know, it all fits.
What happens when you get 2 hosts with ADD?
I don't have ADD.
I do.
But in any case, so, you know, the strategy. We get to the Red Tribe losing again. There are 5 players remaining on that tribe. You have the 2 girls, Denise and Katie. Then you have Jonathan Penner, you have Carter, and you have Jeff Kent. So there's 2 ways this tribal council is going. It either looks like, hey, they're getting rid of Katie, or they're going to get rid of and blindside Penner.
Right, but they were also talking about Denise too in the beginning.
That was just a throwaway. They were trying to, you know, they were trying to trick Katie, which let's talk about that. Denise's name is never truly being brought up as someone to get voted off, which is kind of crazy. You have Katie, who has been on this tribe with these boys since day one, yet they are ready. Let's keep Denise, you know?
Well, Katie is terrible at challenges.
Yeah.
I think she hasn't even strategized until like up and towards the end and everything. So what would you think about Katie?
I think
she was in another alliance.
Here's the added benefit of Denise that if I were in the game, what I would be thinking is Denise has Malcolm. So if you get Denise really in your 4 and you get her really strong, then Denise has the ability and the power to try and bring Malcolm on your side. That's a number you need. Who knows who Malcolm has an alliance with on the other tribe? You're going to be down 4-7 right now. Is that's the number, right? Or 4-7.
4-7.
So you're going to be down 4-7 if there is a merge or when that merge happens. If they're going to go strictly on numbers and that yellow tribe sticks together, you're done. So the positive aspect I think of keeping Denise is, hey, Denise has a tight bond with Malcolm. Maybe she could bring Malcolm over to our side. We give him a better deal than being whatever deal he's in over there. So that's kind of the added benefit and bonus I see to keeping Denise.
Oh, definitely.
You know? Do you agree?
I agree, but I don't think they see that.
No.
I don't think they see the bigger picture.
They just see she's stronger.
I think they see like, oh, Denise is great. Let's get rid of
And she's a
Penner.
great woman.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that sort of thing. So it really came down to, I ultimately believe Jeff Kent's decision, whether it was going to be Katie or Penner. So, Christina, do you think he made the right decision on keeping Penner? We can talk about it. Katie got voted off. Do you think it was the right decision to keep Penner over Katie, and why?
Yes and no. I think maybe what we don't see is that Jeff might have made a deal with Penner, and Penner might have told him that he has the idol.
We know that happened. We know that from a couple episodes ago.
Right. Well,
so he knows that. Jeff Kent knows that there's the idol. He knows Penner has it. Penner shared it with him. So, you know, it's the concept of, do you blindside this returning player who they're worried could possibly make a move on him later down the future?
Flush out the idol.
And flush out the idol.
Right.
Or do you keep him? And you think good or bad move? Make a decision.
I'm going to say maybe a bad move.
Okay, why a bad move?
Because if you don't want, later if you go into the individual immunity, there's a chance of him not even being able to make it all the way
So would
through.
you say that keeping Katie, she's going to be more loyal than Penner in the long run? I'm grilling you. Sorry.
You know what? I'm going to have to say no to that too. I don't think Katie would be loyal to Jeff Kent either.
Okay.
You know, okay, here it is. I think maybe it could go either ways. If you have a strong alliance with someone and you're with them the whole entire time, like from day one, you can't break it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to say, oh, I'm going to get rid of Penner and then I'm going to keep Katie along the way, you don't know if Katie's going to be loyal to you at all.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to say maybe it was a good move to get rid of Katie, but then again, later on throughout the game, having Penner, Jeff, and Penner, I don't know about that one. That's going to be like, Jeff is going to be the first one who's going to go.
In my opinion,
in a long run,
I think it was the better move to keep Penner, and I think it is because I think having the idol on your side with Penner is a better risk to take because you're going to be down in numbers 4-7, and having that idol, you know, whether Penner uses it or he gives it to someone else to use, is having a lifeline and a possibility to stay in the game when if you did flush the idol, then you don't have that lifeline. And I think it's a better risk to keep Penner, even if you might turn, than to have that lifeline when you're down in so many numbers. So I personally think it was a better move to keep Penner.
Jeff and Penner
we'll see.
Work together.
Yeah. So before we get into more, Christina, you know, in terms of AfterBuzz, we got a lot going on here.
We have the Survivor auditions that's happening.
That's we're not getting to that yet. What we want to talk about is AfterBuzz. There are so many shows. We're huge fans of Survivor, right?
Yes.
And I'm fans of other shows as well. You know, I love shows like Big Brother, you know, dramas like Revenge. There's so many good shows on TV in the fall right now. And if there's a show you like and that you know you enjoy watching, then odds are here at AfterBuzz TV, we're covering it. We have so many podcasts that reach millions of people, over 11 million people in over 70 countries across
72 countries.
72 across the world. We're, you know, being downloaded everywhere. So it's, you know, check out other shows, check out other podcasts, and, you know, listen to them. They're fun. And, you know, get involved, get online, and like we said, rate and comment on YouTube videos.
Comment back too.
Comment back, all that sort of stuff. So, you know, there's so much going on. Check it out. And, you know, let's get into, you know, news. You want to get into news and gossip now?
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't know you were...
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right. So you mentioned it earlier, you know.
Survivor audition.
What's going on? When are they due? They're due, I think, November 2nd, right?
Next week.
Yeah. So a lot of fans listen to our podcast, and probably a lot of those fans want to try and get on Survivor. I'm one of them, included. So,
and
Christina,
you should apply.
I will be applying, definitely.
Okay.
So, Christina, in terms of the application process, I don't know if a lot of people know, but I'm going to remind them. You actually won the fan contest through Sears last, on your season, where you submitted a 1-minute video, and then you got cast through that contest.
Yes.
So you're kind of a pro at making a video and then getting on the show.
I say bring out the best attributes of yourself. If you're obnoxious, be extremely obnoxious.
Okay.
If you're... Don't be boring. Please don't.
Can't be boring.
You cannot be boring. Like, I am going to be so sweet to everyone.
Boo.
F that. Don't
Boring.
do that. No. Talk about the strategy that you're going to play the game. Definitely say that you're a fan. Talk about what you would do in order to win the jury's votes.
Yep.
That's what they like to see. Show some athleticism. Be funny. Show some personality.
Gotta do that.
Yeah, don't be just saying that I'm...
So here's the question:
happy to be here.
How much of it would you say is an X factor? When someone's looking at your video, they either see it or they don't when they're watching it. How much of it is that?
What do you mean by that?
In terms of, when you're watching like an audition video or a video.
They watch every video.
They do, but how many seconds do you get to really hook them to watch it before they turn it off?
The first 30 seconds is important.
The first 30 seconds.
First 30 seconds. If you don't have anything exciting in the first 30 seconds, saying
it's
like,
off.
hey, I'm Christina Cha, and I wanted to be the next Soul Survivor because I am funny, I'm brilliant, I'm sassy, I'm crazy, and I will tell everyone out. You have to be like that.
So you can also lie in your audition?
Lie. What do you think people do in Survivor? They lie all the time.
Because I don't know if you're all those things you said you were.
I'm the worst liar. I didn't lie.
So, Christina, I'm going to give you, 20 seconds. Let's pretend you were making an audition video right now. So, give us, a snippet of what your audition video kind of involves. So, here we go.
That I did?
Or pretend like right now.
Oh.
Give our fans some help. Well, let's pretend. Christina, give me 20 seconds of you applying for Survivor right now. Go.
Hey, I'm Christina Cha, and I want to be the next Soul Survivor. Yeah, I played last time, and you know what? I didn't play good enough because I looked like I was a floater. You know what? I'm not going to let that happen again because I'm going to call everyone out because they are wrong. You know what? I'm not going to let anyone tell me what to do unless it's going to come towards my advantage. So that's why I should play Survivor.
Time's up.
Again.
I think I'd cast you. So that's great.
I'm like, ah.
You got to do it. That was great. Good job, Christina. I loved it.
I wasn't a floater. I had no choice.
But that's the thing. I think, what's amazing or that's still fun is, they'll be casting 26 and 27. I still apply. I've been applying since I was 21 years old, and there's always those stories. You got to keep trying.
Yes.
You got to always keep trying.
Troyzan applied 11 times.
Yeah, 11 times, right?
Yeah.
So thanks for the tips, Christina. That's awesome. And,
Thank you.
check out CBS.com. I think it's /casting because I'm a loser like that. I know that. CBS.com/casting to look at the rules, the application process, and definitely apply. It's more fun when more people apply, get fans on the show. And this season, I think, has been fun, and there's a lot of fans on the show. And I think there's a difference when there's a lot of fans on the show, the people that love the game, compared to people that don't necessarily love
I think fans make the best players.
Yeah.
They do, because they understand the strategy. Instead of these people who've been recruited, they have no idea what it's all about.
Yeah.
And it's funny when you watch the players who have no idea how to play the game. And then they talk about, it's never happened on Survivor history. You're like, actually, it has happened.
You know what? The one season I do have to that comes to my mind when it was the first fans versus favorites. I was like, oh my god, that's the perfect season I would want to be on. Fans versus favorites. I would love to be a fan on that season.
Well, there might be one soon.
Oh yeah, interesting. But what I thought was funny is there was a challenge in that fans versus favorites that was a challenge of trivia on all the previous Survivor seasons before. And half the fans didn't know the answers because maybe they weren't real fans, which I didn't like.
I don't know how you can memorize every season. That's a lot of seasons to know.
When you're a fan, it just absorbs,
Really? You're going to be like, well, that happened on season
I can remember
20.
these things, but in any case. So,
On
Christina,
episode 7.
let's get to our predictions. We saw a little preview of what is going on.
Your AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah.
I think Lisa Wenchel And Wetchel Blair is going to make an alliance with Malcolm.
Okay, now that is, come on, the most boring prediction I've ever heard. We saw in the preview for next week that Malcolm takes Lisa aside, says, "You're my mom, let's work together."
They're going to work together, yeah.
And Lisa says, "I don't know if I can trust him, but maybe I'll go with it." So,
no,
okay.
they are. And I think they're, it's...
Go beyond that prediction. What else is going to happen?
I think when Tadang, they're probably going to lose.
Okay.
Maybe it's going to be RC or Scoopin.
Okay.
I feel like they are the last two that are kind of like...
We saw them scrambling. Mike Scoopin saying the whole game has shifted. Everything's changed. What do you make of that? What do you think that is? Is it a swap? Is it a merge? What do you think it is?
I think it's going to be a merge.
You think it's going to be a merge?
Yeah.
At 11. I kind of agree because...
Well, they did it with us.
Well, here's the thing. I think this is a great time for a merge. Why? Because even though there's 7 on Tadang, they're not together. They're divided. They have so much conflict on that tribe. So put them in a merge situation with people, 4 people. It's going to be a good kind of merge right now because I don't think the yellow tribe would stick together in a merge. So that's my prediction as well.
I think so too.
So it's been fun, doing our podcast as always. Christina, where can people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at Christina_Cha.
Yeah, great.
Where
and on Facebook? On Facebook?
On the Book of Faces. Yes, I am there.
I can be found on Twitter, Justin F. Walter. Also, check out my Facebook page. And,
I follow you.
I follow you too. And he's also
I tweet at you too.
Yeah. Also check out realityrush.com. So that is our Survivor Season 25, Episode 6 wrap-up. Thanks for joining in. And definitely check us out next week. We're going to keep bringing all these Survivor episodes. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.